following program may not be suitable for younger listeners. This show does not reflect the views of this channel or its affiliates. Please stand by.
Not necessarily beautiful, but mutated. Not necessarily strong, but beautiful.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Oh, what you just heard, dear friends, that was a compilation. Actually, I've got a lot more of that. A friend of mine sent me a tape that's every James Brown scream edited together in one tape.
I
You
gotta
can
hear
imagine that. Yeah, okay, here.
I gotta hear that.
Let me see, it's at hand. All queued up. This is it, friends. This is every James Brown scream from every James Brown record ever put together, all at once.
When your pussy cat eyes.
Man, that's not it. Fine, that ain't it. No, it's on side 2. Here it is. Yeah, this is it. I can tell by the hiss. It's coming up.
What you gonna play now? Bobby? I don't know.
Is that wild or what? Yes, and praise Bob. This is wild. KNON 90.9 FM, and with every scream that James Brown ever had, huh?
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
4:30 in the morning, time for show. Live show for you now.
Self is an infant.
How come always scary on show, says Doug Smith of Dallas, Texas.
Well, it's actually been some time since Scary has been on the show, Doug. We've tried to get him to come in, but he always has to go out smurfing through the solar system on his wind surfboard. His solar wind surfer is 40 feet long.
Hey, strap in, Hal.
Sails
Show's about to take
extend
off.
about 2.5 miles in width.
Magnetic
Bob? Oh my God, the pilot's dead. He's been dead for over 10 years.
The pilot and the pilot's boy. They both were coming fast. Dear God in heaven, it was a joy that dead men could not blast.
Aborted again.
I saw
Hey, Hal,
a
wake
third.
up.
I heard his voice.
What? Come on.
Iteration.
Tis
Okay, we're
puzzling
gonna take off in a
evidence
little
good.
while, so you want to read the paper?
He singeth loud his godly hymns that he makes in the wood. Yes, Puzev good lives in that wood.
This is KNON 90.9 Dallas, Texas. This is KNON 90.9 Dallas, Texas.
That's 90.9
Hello.
Welcome to the Subgenius Radio Ministry, Hour of Slack, sponsored by the Church of the Subgenius.
The Subgenius Hour of Slack that you are about to listen to is specially designed only to be played on radio station and only in the city of
Welcome, dear friends, to the Subgenius Hour of Slack. Oh, yes, dear friends. Yes, it's scary on the show again tonight. Scary because I'm not so well prepared. The conspiracy got me again. But that's okay, folks. Because, as it says in Isaiah 28:7-8, the priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up with wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, and there is no place clean. Yes, shut that baby up in there. God, babies, they get into all the Subgenius shows. Not just in Texas. Anyway, folks, well, we're still on the subject. This week, we're continuing our sermon this is our anti-drug show. Of course, we're fairly selective about which to be anti with. But you know, the official church position on drugs, friends, is that they don't show you a realer world. They don't expand your mind. They only get you high. And if you think you experienced a mystical state on, say, LSD, you were wrong. You were merely drunk as a lord, dear friend. So we're doing everything in our power to put a stop to the recent false Subgenius fad of gut blowout parties. Hey, there went one just then. These reckless kids are risking their souls, friends, taking these green joy jackers and bowel lifters and screamers and laughters and floppers and floaters and all those other unsanctified street drugs. This is false slack, friends. There's only one there's a gut blowout party, friends. Listen to that in the background. That was the latest doc stock. It's the doctors preparing the prescriptions. There's only one of these mind-relinquishing substances that you should even consider putting the gobble on, dear friends, and that's the sacred Tibetan herb, Frop zipulops, which is not a drug. Now, you know, if you don't have to take the Frop, you can quit if you want to go sane, if you want to keep your so-called senses, but, you know, how can we know the goddess of heaven seen on this slide, lest we have, for comparison, vomited into the porcelain bowls of hell? For although the great inebriant of Tibet provides only an illusory vision of time control, yet such a glimpse fortifies the subgenius, and he follows the taste of that artificial slack drooling like a dog in rut. He is a dauntless explorer of fake horizons. For of all the sacraments, Frop does not wear off.
What's wrong with you? We like you and should ignore you, but instead... God, it hurts. My headaches come back. If these headaches keep up, I'll go down in the medicine fish hole. I'll go in the medicine fish hole if I have to. Oh. Do you have any aspirin?
There can be no such thing as a safe pleasure drug. Even if it had no harmful physical side effects, it still would have, it would still be overused by some people who cannot get pleasure in other ways.
That's what's so sad. Oh, I know smoking cigarettes cause cancer, but I can't stop. But if them same folks told you smoking cigarettes in your automobile would corrode your engine, it would be no more smoking in the car. So that's kind of sad. Because they've manipulated us to the extent that these educational institutions ain't nothing but tricks.
Why? Well, I didn't tell you this before, but he's an egg salad addict. You mean he's hooked on it? He's hooked. He's got a chicken on his back. Yeah, well, too bad for him.
As far back as educated men have recorded their history, veils have been lowered to disclose a vast new reality, rents in the fabric of man's awareness. And somewhere in the endless search of the curious mind lies the next vision, the next key to his infinite capacity. There's reason to believe that incessant stimulation of the reward or pleasure centers of the brain will lead to a resetting of the pleasure threshold so that ordinary enjoyable things no longer stimulate that area, or if they do, they aren't effective, and one can't enjoy ordinary life, so that all one has left are the chemicals.
If we keep using drugs the way we are, we're going to go down the chemical dumper.
Well, you look puzzled, Peter. Other than you're still plain Peter Wayne. But don't worry. It'll all be crystal clear as soon as you prosper. Consciousness expanding. Properly induced CE will give a subject full awareness of capabilities never known before. The doses have been somewhat shorter for me the last time or two.
If you can hear me now, you'd better listen to my warning.
Well, I went on down to my girlfriend's shack to see how they did hang. When I got there, her cupboard was bare. I couldn't ignite a thing. There was no shard, no bone, no twig. I brought my comic book collection.
Was about this big, yeah.
Frop without slack is like slack without frop. But where the hell else am I going to cop? I found my dog food collection about 5 o'clock. But all that food was stale. Thought I'd call that rip-off schmuck. Forgot he was in jail. Ended up killing a porcupine just to see if I could smoke his rind. Oh, frop without slack is like slack without frop. But where the hell else am I going to cop? Yeah, frop without slack is like slack without frop. Where the hell else am I going to cop? I don't know what I am going to do. I just know that this here trip ain't through. Oh, Frop without slack is like slack without Frop. Where the hell else am I going to cop? Oh, Frop without slack is like slack without Frop. But where the hell else am I going to cop? Yeah, Frop without slack is like slack without Frop.
Don't cop from that guy there.
Where the hell else am I going to cop?
Oh, stay away from that.
Frop without slack is like slack without Frop. Where the hell else am I going to cop?
No way.
This is Doug Smith, radio operator. I'm going to bring you a piece of that green cheese for sure.
Without slack, dear friends. The users of drugs, dear friends, on the other hand, are placing themselves in grave danger. They can never get as truly fried as they want to be. They got to take one on top of the other. Sometimes they take so many that when they forget one or two, they later get mad at themselves for it. So to keep mentally levitating, they always need more. Sooner or later, they burn out and become too slacked to react. As they say, the brain tunnels through which they once excavated and blasted with such drunken zeal begin to cave in. The abuser wakes up one day impaired. His muscles feel ravaged, his nerves nullified. There's a hollowness inside, but a hot hollowness, and discomfort mounts to panic as he realizes he's annihilated one brain cell too many. His teeth grind, his cells shrivel, yet seem to scream for more when there is none. His skin exudes bitter greases from every pore, as if he were getting a long overdue oil change. Everything's clammy and numb to the touch. His eternal itch gasps and convulses with the amputation nausea of something missing. The electric glue of his brain becomes tacky and stiffens. The snot-like shock fluid in which the brain once cozily floated has drained away, and the dried husk of gray matter slams against the rough cranial walls with every movement of the head. The gyroscopes inside the ears, balance tubes wobble crazily, and the world is no end up. The floor lurches and shifts its steepness and changes its slant right under his feet. If he lays down, he suffers the slow ovals, the bed seeming to spin very slowly end over end through space. He goes to the bathroom to expel the bad water, but his urine smells burnt and leaks out in a weak radioactive dribble. He looks in the mirror. His skin is Krishna blue in pallor, and he worries that the quiet interior shattering noises he hears are the sounds of his blood crystallizing. His heart starts to dry hump the back of his throat in hysteria, for he knows that to die on drugs is to doom his soul to eternal earthbound wandering in a purgatory where the liquor stores are all closed. If the mental life is intoxicated, the very soul is intoxicated when the body dies, it doesn't know it's dead and so never heads for heaven. Laying on the floor, glowing feebly in the dark, the wretch moans out the drug user's lament. I can't decipher anything. Put me where you want me. Give me rubber blankets. Eventually his cohorts show up and give him succor in the form of more, and the wheel starts rolling again. The conspiracy encourages, blatantly, a useless, empty pattern of social drug abuse in its slaves. The anti-reality sleep drugs like alcohol and downers are legal pretty much, while the wake-up drugs are only available. You can tell which ones they'd rather you take. But, dear friends, we're not just talking about all that stuff tonight. It's also coming up near Halloween, so we got this is sort of a monster and drugs show. That's right, drug monsters, and I've got for you this little moment of Elvira herself talking about Bob. Actually, we ought to go to this cart. We'll play the cart first, and when we come back, Elvira for Bob.
Man, that's right, in Dallas, Fort Worth, the only station with real rock and roll music is KNON 90.9 FM, the voice of the people, the station that knows no equal. Monday night, 7 till 9 p.m., we got Elmo Latex and Kelly doing From the Hip. Tuesday night, 7 to 9 p.m., we got Tim Hibbs, Brave New Radio. And 11 to midnight on Tuesdays, we got Jeff Webb with music from the Vital Hour, a different artist spotlight every week. Wednesday night, 7 to 9 p.m., Charlie Dutton Park and Owl with Who Cares. And Wednesday night, 11 p.m. till 2 a.m., it's Jeff Lyles with Life is Hard. Thursday night, 7 to 9 p.m., Jeff Webb again with Offbeat Music. Friday night, 7 to 9 p.m., we got Kenny and Paul with Underground. And 1 to 4 a.m. late Friday night, we got Audrey and Anatomic with Radio Lobotomy. Saturday afternoon, 2 till 5 p.m., we got Brad Ziegler doing Dig That Groove. Saturday night, 9 to midnight, we got Shaggy's Pajama Party. And Saturday, midnight till 4 a.m., the best in heavy metal and hardcore punk is Roddy Moore's Harsh Realm. That's right here, KNON 90.9 FM is the only place in Dallas, Fort Worth for the real thing, rock and roll.
KNON, the only station on planet Earth. And here, just as promised, is Reverend Elvira.
Yes, sirree, Bob. It's little old me, Bob. That gal with the set that you won't soon forget. And I ain't talking about your basic Trinitron. That gal with the set you won't soon forget. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And welcome to another edition of
The Church of the Subgenius Radio Ministry Hour of Slack with Reverend Evans Daniel.
But, let me see. If my daddy was a shabby and my mammy was a chamois, I wonder if I'll end up becoming something weird.
You won't become one of us.
I won't? Oh, gee. But I wanted to, Vinny. I've never felt like I belonged in my life. I mean, I've always been on the outside looking in. Just the big nose pressed up against the window of life. You want to know something? I was even turned down for membership in the Book of the Month Club.
It is this control of the circuitry, this ability to send phantom signals to real bodies through their remembered images, like pins stuck in a doll, that gives hell its power on earth. Hell is not a place, but a system for disrupting the plans of God.
She thinks you can cure the world by kindness and rules, but it's too small. The Lord's Prayer on a pinhead. Some make rules, some obey, but the rules are for the fools is what I say.
This disco makes me sick. I wear the wrong clothes. I do the wrong things. You know I can't dance, my feet are much too wide. You think you set the trends. You wear your hair just right. Your clothes are out of sight. Your house is modern, really kitsch. You get so macho when you're with your bitch. I see them go to work. I see them go to sleep. I see them on TV. I see them laugh and cry. I'm on the outside. I'm on the outside. I'm on the outside.
It happens. Look around you. Look all around you. The rude clerks in stores that hate their job and take it out on you. The thing about the normals is that
They conceptualize themselves to be hot sinus effluvia on silver platters, but in reality revealed themselves to be cold mucus incrustation on a paper plate.
Oh, well, what are you gonna do? If I ain't being rejected, I'm being ejected. I see that finger of yours a-quivering, ready to punch that eject button. Well, before you do, let me tell you about...
Bob?
We shall retrieve their short-circuited carcasses and prepare them for permanent dysfunction.
All right, let's do it! Activate interlock! Dynatherms connected! Infracells up! Mega thrusters are go!
Let's go! Voltron Force!
If anyone dies while you are kept in your fallout room, move the body to another room in the house. Label the body with name and address, and cover it as tightly as possible in polythene, paper, sheets, or blankets. If, however, you have had a body in the house for more than 5 days, and if it is safe to go outside, then you should bury the body for the time being in a trench or cover it with earth and mark the spot of the burial.
In these early stages, the symptoms of radiation sickness and the symptoms of panic are identical.
What a horrible death. It won't kill him. It couldn't.
What do you mean? It's gotta kill him, Professor.
The other night at the reactor. Didn't you sense it? The beast has a purpose. 30 years ago, Godzilla appeared for the first time. Before that, he was only a legend. Godzilla is a warning to every one of us. When mankind falls into conflict with nature, monsters are born. I'm just trying to send him home.
Attention. Attention. Nuclear attack warning. Condition red. Detonation 25 minutes. Take emergency precautions.
Professor.
Attention, all personnel.
Nature has a way sometimes of reminding man of just how small he is. She occasionally throws up the terrible offsprings of our pride and carelessness to remind us of how puny we really are in the face of a tornado, an earthquake, or a Godzilla. The reckless ambitions of man are often dwarfed by their dangerous consequences. For now, Godzilla, that strangely innocent and tragic monster, has gone to Earth. Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Can we truly call this a monster club? If we do not boast amongst our membership a single member of the human race? Nonsense!
What can he do?
What can he do? In the past 60 years, humans have exterminated over 150 million of their own kind. No effort has been spared to reach this astronomical figure, and the methods that they have used must demand our unstinted admiration. You know, humans began with certain very serious disadvantages, but these they overcame with wonderful ingenuity. Not having a fang or a claw, or even a whistle worth talking about, they invented guns and tanks and bombs and airplanes and extermination camps and poison gas and daggers and swords and bayonets and booby traps and atomic bombs and flying missiles, submarines, warships, aircraft carriers, and motor cars.
They have even perfected a process whereby they can spread a lethal disease on any part of this planet. Not to say anything about nuclear power. Oh, during their short history, you know, Humes have subjected other Humes to death by burning, hanging, decapitation, strangulation, electrocution, shooting, drowning, crushing, racking, disemboweling, and other methods far, far too revolting for the delicate stomachs of this august assembly.
I never realized he was so talented.
We don't like to boast.
I second the proposal. A member of such a talented race can only be a credit to any monster club.
Maestro, to celebrate the installation of a new member, may we hear our song.
Are you interested in the strange and the unusual? Are you curious by the baffling and the bizarre? If so, you will tune in Thursdays at midnight until 2 a.m. for Radio Suare. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the Martian Neon Creature, your masterful controller for those 2 hours for which you cannot escape. And you will listen to Radio Suare Thursdays at midnight until 2 a.m. or come under the sudden threat of instant vaporization. You have been warned.
When you leave this room, the effect will continue.
Inside of your own mind.
Inside of your own skull.
Perhaps the stew bums understand the sacrament of the wine best, for it's outside the church, in the street, that one truly feels the touch. They're drinking the real blood of Jesus, friends, or the blood of Bob or whoever, out of those green Thunderbird bottles. Bob was not beaten up in vain. His blood became the muscatel, the mad dog, the night train that those boys ride. It's supposed to, it does what religion is supposed to do. It makes them feel so good. Ah, yes. It is the pink, suburban, respectable alcoholic who has no excuse and, verily, no hope. Well, perhaps there is one thing that can bring them from their closet of opiated, self-hating secrecy. Perhaps if they turned to the Frop lords of Tibet. Yes, we most pious archpopes condone violently the most frequent possible indulgence unto intoxication and beyond of the revered and despised grief-easer of the mountains, the warrior against pain, the healing herb, Frop zipulops. Whether taken as smoke, liquid food, or as Bob's pills, trademark, it, above all the other medicinal substances, spells relief. From the hearty young stalks protruding from the Himalayan snow to the white frop dust that settles on the rim of Bob's pipe. It's the closest thing to the untainted essence of Odin on earth. How else can we regard that which produces in the devoted user such superhuman clarity of insight, such sensory hyperanesthesia, such total loss of judgment which yet is profound wisdom, such placid ecstasy and blessed repose, which in short is the only shortcut to the realization of the Dobbs state. The Exists planted our beloved Frop on Earth near the close of the age of dinosaurs. Bob tells us it may well be Jehovah One's main instrument for evolution on this planet, having very possibly been the device which brought down the great reptiles, allowing us mammals to take their place as large destroyers. And yet, also, Frop is that which will, with Bob's guidance, likewise complete the usurpation as dominant species of the humans by the subgenius hordes. Frop's detractors, mostly alcoholics and potheads, scream that it is a physically addictive vampire root from whose siren embrace no man can tug free. We shout, hallelujah! Praise Bob, of course it is. And is the Lord himself one bit less habit-forming? Habit, Frop Zipulops teaches us ultimately that all is one, that up is down. It allows us to converse with trees and to see prophetic and accurate visions of the future in our shoes, our album covers, in the strange reflections on our toasters. An ascetic Frop master in Tibet or Dobbstown can, with diligent consumption, finally lose all interest in everything, achieving the paranirvanic state closest to Bob himself. Accidental erasure, that plane on which the luck oceans are most effortlessly surfed, and by which the densely overgrown path of least resistance is trimmed for safe travel. It virtually negates the curse of memory, that stumbling block to perfection, and it makes this state as easily attainable to a distracted, harried American as to a Tibetan Lama or Mexican brujo.
Your mission is so very important. To me, it means nothing. I really don't care if you win or lose.
It's what our free society is founded on. Do you think they give a damn about their bills in Russia? I said, do you think they give a damn about their bills in Russia?
They don't pay bills in Russia. It's all free.
Huh?
No, I ain't no commie.
Oh, you better not be. I don't want no commies in my car. No Christians either.
A lot of people don't realize what's really going on.
They view life as a bunch of unconnected incidents and things. They don't realize that there's this, like, lattice of coincidence that lays on top of everything. I'll give you an example, show you what I mean. Suppose you're thinking about a plate of shrimp. Suddenly somebody will say, like, plate or shrimp or plate of shrimp, out of the blue, no explanation. No point in looking for one either. It's all part of a cosmic unconsciousness.
You eat a lot of acid, Miller, back in the hippie days?
I'll give you another instance. You know the way everybody's into weirdness right now? Books in all the supermarkets about Bermuda triangles, UFOs, how the Mayans invented television, that kind of thing.
I don't read them books.
Well, the way I see it, it's exactly the same. There ain't no difference between a flying saucer and a time machine. People get so hung up on specifics, they miss out on seeing the whole thing. Take South America, for example. In South America, thousands of people go missing every year. Nobody knows where they go. Just like disappear. But if you think about it for a minute, you realize something. There had to be a time when there was no people, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, where did all these people come from? I'll tell you where. The future. Where did all these people disappear to?
The past?
That's right. And how'd they get there? Flying saucers. Which are really... Yeah, you got it. Time machines. I think a lot about this kind of stuff.
But that's the way religion is. It's been a constant battle since the very beginning. The first man to try to guess why he climbed out of the slime was the first man to pick up a stick and hit his brother. We've been programmed.
Offered void, where prohibited.
Since the very beginning. Our slack was taken away the moment we entered this world-weary treadmill. And we've been running like little rats through a maze. And the only way you can get away from that is to deprogram. Edit your own memory. Take those bad memories. Take those horrible training regimens that you were subjected to as a youth. Flush them down the toilet as you excremeditate.
Let me ask you.
Yes, sister.
Did you ever own a guinea pig?
I ate my guinea pigs. I grew them and I ate them. That's that crazy. They were food. I'm a carnivore. I can't help myself.
The kid's name's Slack, too.
It's so difficult to live with.
Doctor, here.
You know, I was walking down the beach, trying to get to my woody. Well, I had my suds cold and my buds was gold. I was gonna get high and get real drunk.
Lay in the sand.
With my beach buddy.
My beach buddy.
But out to the side, out of the side of my eye, I saw the ultimate wave, the super wave. It was the most stoked out stud wave in all reality.
It was 900 feet tall.
And on the backside of reality too.
I saw a black hole right in the middle of it.
A vortex.
I was ready to shoot through that black hole. Have my molecules rearranged.
I'm gonna hang five as I shoot through the black hole of the vortex of the super wave. The most god-awful wave of reality.
On the back side of reality.
The front side and the left and the right side. I was tubing. I was fixing to cut out. And then It's one of those whatchamacallits just opened up right out of the sea. Big old giant one that starts sucking me down. It's like a vortex funnel sucking me down to the bottom of the ocean. I was getting sucked down. And you know, as much as I hate to admit it, it felt pretty good. It felt pretty good getting sucked down in that vortex wave all the way down to the bottom of the ocean. But God, I hate to admit it. But God, I hate to admit it. Oh, it felt pretty good. But I hate to admit it.
Moving on down on the backside of reality with my passport by my side, riding the wave and stoking on my fine thing.
Moving on down to the backside of reality, riding on my passport, stoking on my fine thing.
Can really play the drums. He was stuck down in this group thing. He was laying down those tracks. Backside of reality on those tracks.
Now, how about the song Backside of Reality? Our audience here is very familiar with that song. We play it every week.
In our acid days, back when we used to consume a lot of LSD. Yes,
the Swinging Love Torches at one time was a hippie LSD.
Yeah, we don't really like to brag or talk about it because we don't really advocate the use of mass quantities of LSD.
But I thought that you condone contracted consciousness.
We condone only contracted consciousness. Yes.
And expanded consciousness. Well, so some of your music actually has been LSD influenced. What is the similarity here? I'm reminded of the '60s garage band.
That's like LSD, lollipop sugar donuts. Mushroom mountains appearing from the sky. We got high on high doses of sugar. White sugar.
And
we called it LSD just to kind of a joke.
And you would have visions.
What happened was this nebulous cloud, this big old giant nebulous cloud would fly over.
Into the vortex.
Right, it's like the molecule.
Oh, this is my favorite. This is beautiful. This is real breakdance music. I saw that you had that whole football field full of breakdancers at the Australian conference. I saw that on
we had over 750 breakdancers who were breakdancing to the sounds of
With Frop, Bob gives his most insanely courageous warriors, the Brotherhood of Bob, brief glimpses of the before life, the pleasure dimension foretold by the prophet Janer. And it fortifies them in their acts of terminal mercy. It steels the nerves and frees the wills of his chosen instruments of death and eternal slack. Slack Squad missionary Poon Flang Damarung spoke lovingly of it in Economicon 714 before his immortal last mission in a testimonial to his Lord Bob's ways. Yes, Poon Flang said, Bob shares of his own pipe with us before each foray into the belly of the beast. It gives us the knowledge of our true will and how it is juxtaposed with Bob's. We all grip each other by the shoulders and sidle together in a great circle as we chant together between the holy dosages. The dizzying Frop fumes combine with the endless rhythmical repetitions to create a living vortex power of unspeakable ecstasy. Kill, kill for the love of killing, kill for the love of Kali, kill, kill for fun, kill to be free, kill like a man to make America great. While alcohol wantonly destroys brain tissue, sloughing it off to be passed in the morning as the wasted dead ravages of wine, Frop does not kill brain cells, nay, but mutates them, causes them to multiply faster. Each succeeding generation is, of course, stronger than those before it. Man made booze, Bob made Frop. Who do you trust? Frop enables one to see with the eyes closed. This is known as the unblinking stare of the overlid. Through it, one may pass through the gates of the Frop Lord into the Frop City of the Soul. Once the seeker has reached Bardo 18 of the 18th hole of Hangar 18 of Zombo Fropland, he may think the same thought over and over and over and over and over, and yet never care, never feel boredom. The Frop entered through the forehead and exited through the upper back of the neck. The possessing demon was exorcised instantly, and the president, if not his brain or the governor's, was saved. This, my friends, is Frop. But whether you're a Frop head or not, the true Subgenius forces the body to stand upright where it can see further. He shows authority over the drug fiend which houses the brain. Our rightful place has been usurped by our own bodies, and we want to see the man in charge, and it's Bob. Bob is the true mind storm, my friends, the godly lobe explosion in your skull. Who needs dope? You never come down from the high of Bob. Bob is the drug, friends. The conspiracy is the real drug that drugs you, that makes you want to go to sleep or to kick ass for no reason. Bob is the drug that makes you kick ass where it counts. The drug of remembering who you are. The drug that wakes you up. The drug that makes you see or leaves you be. Praise Bob. Help me, somebody. She ain't got no legs. My legs are on fire. Pull the lever, down you go. Copyright 1986, Jane or Hyper, please. Oh, yes, friends. Well, this is Reverend Ivan Stang with the Church of the Subgenius. Those of you who want to know more about the church can write to Bob. That's right, Bob at P.O. Box. Get that pencil out now, friends. P.O. Box 140306, Dallas, Texas 75214. We're just writing for information, but you won't believe what you get. Because you don't know about our books. Well, we don't know that. That's P.O. Box 140306, Dallas, Texas 75214. If you want to know just what we're playing and what we're doing here. Well, this little ditty coming up here, this is a song by the Dogmatics called Why Must I Be a Teenager on Drugs?
Been used to spinning ahead all of my days. Spend my life in a drug-induced haze. Pick my head and eat all the bugs. Why must I be a teenager on drugs?
I went out last night and got fucked up. I crashed my father's pickup truck. Then I went home and I puked on the rug. Why must I be a teenager on drugs? If I don't cut the shit, it's plain to see. I'm gonna spend my life doing PCP. Each night I hang around with a bunch of girls. Why must I be a teenager on drugs. My boss says next time I get thrown in jail, her up my dad ain't gonna go no bail. Each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager on drugs?
Work in the body shop, can't wait to get paid. Wanna get wasted, I wanna get laid. Get in my gold, I'll drive to the Cape. Don't get no results, I'm gonna go wait.
Hey, let me tell you about my new coat. X9, right? Pay me $2.
These vicious junkies and
Bob loves you. 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 Bob loves you.
If you can just get your mind together, then come on across to me. We'll hold hands and then we'll watch the sunrise from the bottom of the sea. But first, are you experienced? Or have you ever been experienced? Well, I have.
From the sky settled over them trees. It left this wire in my head that customized me. The wire in my head, it advises me better living through biocircuitry. found me new friend. We meet at the airport where the old freeway ends, and we lay down our lives for the power it sends. I got a wire in my head and so do my friends. The wire, a big business opportunity. The wire benefits me financially. The wire in my head gets me good deals. I drive a real solid car and I eat fancy meals. You can bet I'd kill any sucker who squeals. I got a wire in my head and I like how it feels. I got a wire for your head and I'd install it for free. Better living through surgery. I got a wire in my head. Squeal and you're dead. Oh, yes, dear friends, that was Wirehead Conspiracy by Reverend Buck Naked. And that's on Paris Records. Yes, Paris Records presents Made Up in Texas. Wirehead Conspiracy. You can pick that one up here and there. Oh, yes, dear friends. Well, you know, time is running out. It's so sad that time has to run out on the hour of slack. You only get that hour of slack a week, and it is a shame. But Ron Lindsay will be up next with Soul Oldie, so stay tuned. Now, I didn't get time this week to play part 3 of the Subgenius, quote, anti-drug special, unquote, which is the incredible, it's actually a replay of Hour of Slack number 6. We'll be playing the replay of the best section of Hour of Slack number 6, starring G. Gordon Gordon, as we discuss the preparation and use of normal souls as a consciousness contraction device. Oh, yes. I was supposed to read... Somebody's trying to get in down there. So I was supposed to read a public service announcement about the showing of True Stories, David Byrne's movie, but I was also instructed not to do slander and libel, so I'd better not talk about David Byrne, because I'm sure that's what it would turn into. You can ask my good friend Puzzling Evidence just why, but we won't go into that anymore. So friends, if you need to write to Bob to have your soul saved, to get some slack, why, that number, get that pen ready. Write to Bob at P.O. Box 140306, Dallas, Texas.
Not necessarily beautiful, but mutated. Not necessarily strong, but beautiful. God bless you.